Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be doing a review on the brand new set of figures from NECA. This is the Evil Dead Series 2 figure set, and this includes Hero Ash as well as Henrietta. This is a phenomenal set, and this is really getting back to the sort of classic feel that NECA's figures used to have. And aside from all the other stuff that NECA's released so far this year, they keep wowing me with just the amount of detail that they are putting into these figures, as far as articulation. The paint application has become a lot better, and just the amount of work and precision that they put into their products. It never ceases to amaze me. So enough rambling about NECA. We have some fantastic things to show you here. The Hero Ash comes with a couple accessories. He comes with his chainsaw hand, of course, comes with his mighty boomstick, as well as the possessed deer head that was hanging on the wall in the cabin when he starts going insane and it starts laughing at him. And then Henrietta also comes with an accessory. She comes with a bendable extended head, which I will show you later during her portion of the review. So first off, we'll start with Ash. Basically the exact same articulation that you've seen on the other Ash figures that have come out recently. One thing that I will note that I really like about this figure is that they've got the face on this about as perfect as you can get it for Bruce Campbell. This beats out the other versions that they've released. This beats out the McFarlane versions. It just looks fantastic. The paint is also a lot cleaner on this figure. He's still got some cuts and bruises and stuff, but it doesn't look like he's wearing eyeliner as much on these figures, which is a really nice change. Now, there are two downsides to this figure. The one is some of the paint around the elbows I noticed is kind of chipping. I'm not sure if that's just because it was really hot when it was transported and it kind of molded that way and then broke upon unpackaging, but that's kind of what it looks like. Other than that, it looks fine. And then the only other downside is his shotgun here. Let me get it out of his backpack here. Pulls it out of the holster. Sawed-off shotgun. The gun actually does not fit very well into his hand. His finger is not... It's molded together, so you can't exactly get his hand through the trigger area. And when I tried, this portion actually broke, and I had to glue it in two places there and there to get it to look right again. So that was kind of a bummer, but the rest of him is fantastic. So that aside, let's get into the articulation points. Like I said, this is pretty much the exact same sculpt aside from the torn away shirt and the chainsaw hand, which they did a fantastic job on. Give you kind of a close-up of that. The coloring and the metal look to it is really well done. There is articulation at his ankles, at the knees. Also can rotate 360 there. There's rotation at his kind of mid-thigh area there, and then rotation at the upper thigh, at this sort of V-swivel. Rotation at the waist, and then he also has that sort of, they used it on the Rocky figures, but the like mid-torso point there. Articulation at the wrist, at the elbow, also moves back and forth there. Flexibility at the shoulder blade, in and out, forward and backward. Very tight joints on this figure, I will add that. Head is on a ball joint, and then rotation on the other wrist, and his other elbow swivels the exact same. And then on the back, he's also got the the holster for his shotgun. Shotgun itself looks pretty good. Maybe kind of a look there. It actually fits in the holster in the back perfectly, so that works out nicely. But yeah, a lot of great poses you can do with this figure. The detailing on it is phenomenal. It looks a whole lot better than the other Ash figures. I think the only other Ash figure I like almost about as much as this was the Dead-Eyed Ash, just because, I don't know, just the Dead-Eyed look was really, really cool, and I thought that they did a really good job on the paint application for that one as well. But this figure, nonetheless, is probably the best Ash I have seen yet from NECA. But yeah, as far as accessories, like I said, he comes with a shotgun, and then he comes with the deer head. And this thing is fantastic. The only downside to this is that there's no real good way to display him unless you actually make like a diorama where you could mount it on a wall or something. So it kind of sits there. But the deer head itself, it's actually not as fragile as you'd think. The antlers are slightly bendable. They do feel like they could snap, but they aren't as fragile as you'd think. No jaw articulation there, but the head does rotate some. It's on a very tight ball joint, and it can kind of go up, down slightly, and then left and right. And it's got those whited out, dead-eyed eyes, which looks great. So that is Hero Ash for you. Slide him over to the back. Now for my favorite of this series, Henrietta. And we're actually going to take her off her display stand here for the review. She is kind of set up almost like the Borderlands claptrap that NECA released about a month or so ago, I think it was. I also did a review on that. But she comes with a great stand where it actually kind of kind of pegs into the back, and then it plugs into a very sturdy base here. So I'll show you this. It's a very tight fit. That's another thing. On the claptrap, it was very loose, and the claptrap would pop off. But for this display, it actually is a very good fit. So it doesn't feel like it's very fragile, but it holds her up very well without her bobbing around at all. So we'll stand her up for a minute here if she will. A lot of really good articulation on this figure. Kind of reminded me of the Boomer figure from Left 4 Dead that NECA just released as well, which I also did a review on a little bit ago. There is articulation at the ankle, at the knee. Now I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like you could detach these limbs, but I'm not really sure. I don't want to chance it. But there's a knee articulation, there is thigh articulation. You can kind of rotate that back and forth, in and out slightly. A lot of really great detailing on this, just with the decayed flesh and everything, and it just looks amazingly disgusting. Details, there's an articulation point at the mid-torso, right below her disgusting tits. And then you've got articulation at the shoulder, at the elbows, the wrists, and then her head is on a ball joint. So, really cool articulation and detailing there. Just absolutely hideous. But they did a fantastic job capturing a really cheaply made suit in this film that just really, really worked well for the character. Now, like I said, she does actually come with the extended head on here, and this is a bendable rubber. It's kind of hard to get it into the neck. Let me see if I can do it for the review here. This head comes off the joint nicely, and then if you put the other one on, let me see if I can. There you go. I'll swallow your soul, I'll swallow your soul. It's fucking beautiful. I love it. So, if you want, you could display it with that, or I've actually just extended the neck and left it displayed next to the figure for my collection, but you can do whichever. The base itself, like I said, is strong enough that it could support holding Henrietta with or without the neck on it. So, but taking a look at the additional head here, it's kind of long. It's also got those little holes in it that all bendy figures seem to have, right along where the wire is inside. It's actually got little implanted fake hair there. Great detailing on the face. Definitely has that sort of stop motion look that the one in the film did. What's great is that the empty eye cavity you can kind of see in there. I'm trying to get my camera to focus a little better. There you go. So you can kind of see in there a bit more. Yeah, it's so fantastic. Just the amount of detail that went into this and everything. So, yeah, and like I said, for the base, it comes with this sort of L-beam, and then that plugs in right. You kind of have to rotate her the fabric on the back over a bit, but then you can't really see it in there, but it actually has a notch, so it fits in there only one way. So you cannot fuck it up. And then plugs right into the base there. And voila. But yeah, that is the Evil Dead 2 Series 2 set from NECA. Fantastic figure set there. These ones I got through eBay from a seller in California who had a shipment in a little earlier than what I could tell. I'm guessing these will be available at Toys R Us and Amazon.com. I've seen them show up on Amazon.com already within the last couple days, but I was able to receive mine yesterday, so I thought I'd do a review on them. But yeah, these are wonderful figures if you're a big fan of the Evil Dead series or Sam Raimi films or just, you know, classic 80s films. These are definitely great figures to have, and like I said, I was really impressed with the amount of detail and work that went into these figures, and I really hope NECA keeps it up. I'm not a huge fan of them doing the re-releases of, you know, just retooled figures, but the Evil Dead series, it actually kind of lends itself to that, just as the film progresses and Ash sort of changes as the film goes on. But these figures are definitely worth the wait, and unless NECA really pulls out, you know, a showstopper later this year that we're not aware of. I mean, other than the Prometheus figures, which look great, these are by far the best figures I've seen from them all year. So really impressed. If you have any questions about the figures, just leave them in the comments below, and check out some of my other reviews. I also have a review on the Series 1 set from the Evil Dead 2 figures that NECA has released, so feel free to check that out. Other than that, that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching.